Good morning, class 7. A very good afternoon and a very good evening to all of you. I think you must have already downloaded from the portal the pattern of how your questions will be set and also how you would be assessed. And I have given you a lot of question banks related to the same, right? On the previous 3 chapters, I have also given you the answer keys for the same. Now today we are ending with the last chapter of this particular term, right? It's a very simple chapter. It again is connected with the previous 3 of unit 2. And today, along with the link, you will also be able to download the questions, what you need to practice from this particular topic. I have been already mentioning it with a footnote. I remember giving a footnote in the handout which was uploaded as a PDF for you, that please do not neglect going through the chapters, because I'm going to pick up questions from the chapters, and also do not neglect going through the points to remember, as well as the objective questions which is given at the end of every lesson. Okay, just because y'all are not writing descriptive answers need not means you will just come prepared with only, because I have seen your marks in the previous term, that is your half yearly. Many of you have not got the desired marks which I suppose you can easily score in a subject called EVS, right? So please do not neglect. Please study hard. And this is the last phase of the session, the torrid session what we've had. And I think you would be very, very conscious about your do's and don'ts related to academics, because I was a little disappointed with your class because I have not been able to receive much of your homework, unfortunately. It was only a handful of whose names I have already taken in the previous classes. They had been doing it religiously all the time, mailing, listening to instructions, but unfortunately the others have played a deaf ear to whatever instructions was given through audiovisual. So I'm very, very disappointed, I would say, class 7. Please do not keep that attitude when you go to the next class. I would anticipate that there is a change in the behavior when you graduate from class 7 and go to class 8, right? Please do not neglect, do not take it for, just for granted. Okay, man is not seeing us physically. So because as I have been telling, it is a big insult for a particular teacher if a work has been given to the particular class and you all are not doing it and mailing. It's only a handful out of a strength of almost about 60. It's just maybe 10 to 12 of you who are mailing. That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing. All right. Now, the book is, again, I would say, Environmental Education, Saraswati Publication. Unit 2 is the unit what we are following. And chapter number 8 is the chapter what we are proceeding with today in the audiovisual class. Now, environmental peace and harmony. Of course, if you do not go sync. Now, you know the word sync, S-Y-N-C. The moment you, buy a particular cell phone, you have to sync your contacts with the new one. So it has to be in link with the new phone, isn't it? So that is called syncing in with the environment. When you are using something from the environment, you have to pay it back in return. Not through kinds, not through monetary manner, but yes, by being kind toward, by being generous and kind towards nature. Not going on exhausting things which are readily available, exhausting resources, natural resources, which are like exhaustible, which are non-exhaustible, and drying the environment of that. Right? So there is something called, there is symbiotic type of interrelation between man and nature. This is what I am talking about, this paragraph. What is symbiotic type of interrelationship? That means when different types of living organisms are in close proximity with whatever is associated with them. Like I said, sinking in with the environment, sinking in with the school. If you're going to school, you have to get adjusted and accommodate yourself in the school, not only with the teachers, not only with the didis, the caregivers, the drivers, conductors, your peers, but also with yourself. You have to get into the system, and there has to be a kind of a social environment where you are living together. So same thing, symbiotic interrelation. That's how. So basically we are using things from the environment and we have to pay them back. See, your next paragraph is basically telling you all about that. The attitude has to be very, very positive. Otherwise, I have been telling it again and again in the previous audiovisuals also. In fact, the book also has been repetitive about the same. We have to think about the generations to come. Not like, आज हम लोगों का पेट हो गया, बस सोचो मत कल के लिए. Isn't it? You have to always save for the rainy days. That means the generation to come. Otherwise, there would be a time when you will just have 1 square feet of a plot for building a house. You know what is a square feet, right? So minimum a square feet area of a particular apartment or a house or minimum has to be at least more than 680 to 700 square feet. That should be the area. Okay, so I'm talking about out of that, there might be a time, maybe in years to come, maybe that's not far away, okay, because we are exhausting, we are running dry of the water, we are running dry of the resources, we are running dry of land for cultivation. We are just, spend, use, and then that's it. Okay, just run dry of everything. So we have to think about that. And I suppose you have also come across lot of environmentalists, social activists, environmental activists who are in vogue. There's a young girl of your age. She was in class 7 when she had started off, if I'm not wrong, maybe 6 or 7. And she is Lisi Priya Kangujam. Okay, I will just write the name because these are things which are also good for your general knowledge. She is from Manipur. This is an additional information I am giving you. She is known as the Indian Greta Thunberg, okay, who is from Stockholm, Sweden. Yes, Greta has been also recognized with the Times Person of the Year award in the year 2019. Similarly, this particular child, she started off from 2018, and she has been very, very vocal about the climate change, about the global climate change. And she's been there in the news. You will get to read about article. So, children like them are making a difference. She's from Manipur. She's an Indian. We should be proud because she's compared as compared to Greta, the other activist, very, very popular, who's won innumerable awards in the year 2019, okay? And one happens to be, as I said, a very, very prestigious award. She's been conferred with, a certificate, a medal, a prize. That's Times Person of the Year 2019. That's Greta. So even, Lisi Priya Kangujam from Manipur is also becoming very, very popular these days. Why? Because she's been very, very actively involved to do something about the environment. Now, children, know the new words. You have words like biodegradable, which is of course a term which is very, very, common. What is biodegradable? Biodegradable means things which can be easily decomposed, naturally. So I suppose all those who live in a house will of course have a pit where you throw the vegetable peels, yes, where you throw materials which can be easily decomposed. I think even if you don't have it, you must do that. We have bins also where the corporation is collecting it. Yes, we have a green and a black. Black is like a non-biodegradable waste collecting bin, and the green is for a biodegradable waste collecting. You can hear the whistle blowing since maybe around 7:30. Like the sanitization workers go around the area, the locality where you live in Siliguri, collecting your waste. So people are beginning to get conscious, isn't it? Even the government is also working about it. Now, if you turn to page 72, okay. Now, there is something like, there are many social and economic factors responsible for causing harm to the harmony. Harmony means you live with in peace and let others also live in peace. Live and let live in peace. That's called harmony. As I was talking about, sync, S-Y-N-C. Okay, so the first point is overpopulation in city areas. Yes, you have seen people migrating, relocating from one nation to another nation, from one city to another city, maybe due to professional reasons, maybe due to livelihood reasons, maybe due to higher education reason. So what is happening? One area is getting is drying out of the standard population to be maintained. The census is conducted every year, isn't it? What is the census? It will give you the count of the population, particular area. So another place, especially the metros, they're no more called metros, they're called megalopolitans, isn't it? Like you have Chennai, you have Mumbai, you have Kolkata, you have Mumbai, as I have already mentioned. So these are called mega cities. Why? People are migrating. People are also relocating in search of better scope. So that is what is happening. Overpopulation in city area. So when it is overpopulated, you can see the first example is the vaccination. Have you seen? We are not being able to get the vaccination, at least the general public. It'll take some time. Why? The main thing is the population. Had we had the population in our control, we would have been vaccinated by maybe April. But then it is only the primary workers who are directly in the front line. They are being vaccinated. So that is our most, common and living example. See, vaccines are not being able to suffice, isn't it? Because of the population. Similarly, high commercial value. So when you're moving to a particular place, what happens? The commercial value means the price of land, the price of shelter goes up. The price of setting up an industry goes up. Thirdly, traffic jam. Yes, look at our city. It has grown. You just go. So children, what I was saying is, if you go out in the peak hours of the day to Hilkad Road and as well as Panitanki More, or maybe near the bridge, the Mahananda bridge, you will see lot of traffic jam. So you can understand that this is also a result of overpopulation, and that is also laying a stress. Now, neighborhood, what I was also discussing as the points were being taken up one by one. Now, you have to be cautious about your neighborhood. Abroad, people are very, very cautious, be it the Indians and be it the non-Indians also. Like, they take care of their environment, they take care of their neighborhood, in the sense they're very, very careful about not only their own health and hygiene, but also the health and hygiene of their neighbors. Similarly, out here you will see that is very restricted. You will not get these kind of mentality in areas which are inside a bylane. Very, very few examples you will come across. It's mostly maintained in townships like Uttarayan, apartments and complexes only, say Akshatara, maybe Shantiniketan near North Bengal University. So, like tiny apartments also, which houses about 90 to 100 flats. People inside that particular complex are careful and conscious about keeping the neighborhood clean, in the sense inside that gate. The moment they are going out of the gate, you will see them throwing waste, carrying it from their kitchen and throwing it on the road. So these kind of cautiousness and conscience has to be risen by people like us, by people like you. Because as I was talking about the children who have come up and come up to the forefront and made a difference by, standing against environmental pollution, environmental degradation, isn't it? So similarly, you will see that the aim of these kind of endeavor, when you are taking up policies, policies have been taken up by the government as well, different kind of policies. So promotion of understanding and cooperation between people is very, very important. You have to have a mutual understanding between two, otherwise a work cannot succeed. If you don't have a good team, you cannot make the dream work. So you have to make the dream work, you have to have a good team, right? Similarly, you have to have an awareness creation in the form of maybe road shows, in the form of maybe nukkar nataks. I suppose you all are very, very aware of these kind of things, because we get to read about them in articles. Then, motivate the people to conserve. Okay, like I'm going home with a water bottle which has water, little bit of water in it, but I don't intend to throw it or flush it down the drain. So what do? I start saving that water in maybe a bowl, an earthen pot, or maybe a kind of a tub. So automatically, if I have another brother and sister in the house, in the family, so that water can be used for watering your plants. That water can be used for, watering your garden. It's like the conservation, what, remember ma'am had got it introduced in DPS, Adha Glass Planning. I think we have already spoken about it in the previous classes as well. So these kind of awareness, these kind of steps should be taken up. Now, role of individuals in maintaining peace, harmony and equity, okay, in nature. The first thing is, say no to plastic. Say totally no to plastic. Nothing plastic. Okay. Then making of, as I was saying, we must have a compost pit wherever we live. We can start throwing the vegetable peels, especially anything, any matter which can be decomposed. So that is like an additional manure for your terrace garden, for your garden in the balcony. That is like very, very good. Okay. So similarly, using a public transport for commuting. That is also one way of stopping the emission of toxic gases in the environment. Or you can have a carpool. Supposing I am from Hillcard Road, so whosoever is around me, we take a car or a cab and we hire that, or we volunteer to use, okay, Monday is my turn, so I'm going to pick up around 4 or 5 of them with me, and so that stops the other 5 from using either their 4-wheeler or their 2-wheeler. So these kind of things should be also thought of and implemented, and these are actually the measures. Similarly, planting trees, saving of electricity, turning off the light whenever it's not in use. Okay, saying totally no to goods made of animal skin. Yes, we have a fascination for crocodile leather. Yes, handbags and all. So we should start saying no. Okay, we should start saying no. And more use of herbal products. Yes, that is very, very in vogue in fashion, isn't it? Herbal is in. Similarly, no to smoking in public areas. So these are things I suppose we are slowly following, isn't? Saving fuel. Saving fuel can be done by using a carpool or using a public transport. Saving of paper. Talking about paper, you see 10,000 to 15,000 trees are cut down to produce this. It's called the white pine, which is used for making paper, or the balsam tree, that is also used for making paper, not pepper. Pepper is P-E-P-P-E-R, paper. Okay, so we should start recycling paper. We should start respecting and become paperless, basically go paperless slowly. And I think we are trying to do that. We are slowly going into the paperless system. Similarly, we have to keep a strict vigil on people who are using public transport, public utility areas, that is whether it's a park, whether it's a washroom. So we should have people on vigilance there, being vigilant and checking and correcting and taking to task. So these are the various ways where peace, equity and harmony can be maintained. And talking about the good neighborly behavior, I have already mentioned about the neighborhood. If you all are working as a team, if you all think about the health and hygiene of everybody as an individual, including the plants, trees, then automatically your neighborhood is going to prosper. So children, I am going to frame, short questions from the chapter. So I am going to upload the same with the video today. You can download that and practice those. Okay, you need not go through the broad questions, because as I have been saying, you must read the chapter thoroughly, because I'm going to pick up questions from there. And you also must go through the objective questions which are given at the end of every chapter, as well as the objective questions as in fill in the blanks and points to remember. So bye for now. All the best, class 7. I suppose this is my last class with you. I wish I could meet you in person, but definitely we'll do that. Keeping our fingers crossed for a successful, looking forward to a successful school year 2021-2022. We have a lot of new things for you, and we are anticipating also that you all will also cooperate with us. Bye once again.